Oh.
Like now.
All participants understand that by being on this screen, they are being broadcast and recorded. Welcome, and pay heed and reverence to their Majesties Beru and Fiona, King and Queen of the Laurel Kingdom of Meridies, and their heirs, Timothy and Ismay.
Hello, Meridies. Welcome to our first virtual court. We hope that everyone is doing as well as possible in the ever-changing situation.
Yes, and it's fine to see you, haha, on this fine Saturday afternoon. Sadly, we couldn't do this in person, so we hope you'll sit back and enjoy what we have scheduled for today.
This hereby opens the court of Beru and Fiona, sovereign and consort of Meridies.
All right. If you would be so kind, please call our first person.
Called now into this court, Laura Lee.
I believe she is connected by audio.
Okay. Laura Lee, when I first learned your name last summer and became aware of your good works, you were doing a lot of largesse to give to the populace, and you were doing many things to help newcomers. And your enthusiasm for doing these things and helping us provide little gifts to newcomers and just touched my heart. And I thought that you would be very deserving of a guiding hand. So the Herald will now read the scroll.
Whereas the strength of our kingdom lies in its people, those who instruct our newest subjects in the grace, chivalry, and courtesy, which are the foundation of the society, stand high in our esteem. In recognition of your outstanding efforts and patience in making all thus welcome, we, Beru and Fiona, sovereign and consort of Meridies, are pleased to bestow upon you, Laura Lee, the Order of the Guiding Hand. Done the second day of May, Anna Societatis 55, being 2020 Gregorian.
Thank you, and continue to do the good things that you're doing. You are a fabulous member of our kingdom.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Oh.
Thank you. And I'm still not on Facebook. Why did it? Yes, you were.
All right. Do we want to go ahead with the next award?
Sure. Called now before their majesties, Donald, Dumac, and Taylor.
I believe he is connected.
All right. Donald, since you joined the SCA not that long ago, your excitement and your love for the SCA have really impressed a lot of folks, especially those folks around you. To our benefit and our kingdom's benefit, much of that enthusiasm shows as service. You've taken up the job of local Westminster. You showed up early and left late from a golf course to help get the site ready and build on fences and help people with tents and then help them all on the way out. And this is just exemplary of how you behave all the time. Evidently, anytime you notice something that needs doing or somebody that needs a hand with something, you jump right in and help. And we can't express enough how much we love to see this and want to encourage it. And at this time, it's our pleasure to make you a Lord of our court and award you arms.
Know ye one and all that Donald, Dumac, and Taylor has considerably enriched our kingdom through diverse great efforts. We would reward such service with an award of arms, conferring all rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto, done this day by our hand.
Thank you, Your Majesties.
More than welcome.
It is a great pleasure, Your Majesty, Your Highness, my lords and my ladies. I thank you with all my heart.
And our thanks
Very
to
welcome.
you. Welcome to our ranks of nobles.
Called now, the Kingdom Law Clerk.
Your Majesties.
I believe you have some business for us.
Are we giving her what she deserves or just letting her read something?
Well, I thought she was going to be reading, but
Wait, I can't hear.
This might be Mr. Sonora's thing.
Yeah, I think this is when Honora reads something.
okay. And the surprise on the law clerk, that's not who we expected to see.
I can't hear anything.
I believe we're doing the first of the Kingdom
Addition
Law
to
changes.
Meridian
Yes.
Kingdom Law. Article 2, 101, the Kingdom Law Clerk. 1, the Kingdom Law Clerk, referred to hereafter as the clerk, is a deputy of the Kingdom Seneschal and will maintain the laws of the Kingdom of Meridies. 2, the clerk will maintain a record of when laws are published and proclaimed in royal court. 3, the clerk will be responsible for maintaining the online law library to ensure availability of the proclamation packet for all law changes to the populace. The packet will include the signed proclamation, a record of the date and event where the law was announced, and a PDF of the publication in the Kingdom newsletter. 4, the clerk will monitor corporate and board communications for changes to any corporate policy that affect Meridian Kingdom law. 5, once per reign, the clerk will review Meridian Kingdom law for conformance to corporate policies. This shall include consulting with other kingdom officers to verify that Meridian Kingdom law is in compliance with their respective society and kingdom handbooks. 6, the clerk will advise the royal family, Kingdom Seneschal, and the law committee on any changes that need to be made to bring kingdom law into compliance with corporate policy. 7, the clerk will serve as secretary for the Kingdom Law Committee as defined in Article 2:102. Signed, King Baru, Queen Fiona.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Called now into this court, Joris von Veen.
I do not believe we have him, Your Majesties.
Oh, you don't think he's here?
He is not in the waiting room.
No.
All right, Your Majesty, if you'd like to go ahead and tell the populace our piece of business with him.
I would be happy to. We have received several letters for this fine man. A couple of them started off with, we thought he already had this award and learned that he didn't. And they recommended him for an AOA. Among his many talents or many things that he does, he's very helpful with the group, putting up tents, staying late at the events, and helping out. And he's become the seneschal of his group at Bourne Keep. And for this and many other reasons, we have decided to make him Lord Gregorius.
Know ye one and all that Gregorius von Veen has considerably enriched our kingdom through diverse great efforts. We would reward such service with an award of arms, conferring all rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto, done this day by our hand.
We just got him. So there he is.
Hello.
Majesties.
Did you hear any of the announcement?
I heard a bit at the end, Your Majesty.
So you're aware that you're now Lord Gregorius?
I greatly appreciate it, Your Majesties. It is a great honor.
Well, thank you. You are doing many wonderful things for our kingdom, and we appreciate you.
I live but to serve.
All right. I like that idea. So, and it's Mistress Honora's turn again. Yay!
So for the rest of the law changes that I have to announce, they are actually rather lengthy. I'm not taking that much time in our court, otherwise we'd be here for 2 hours instead of the one that we have planned.
Mm-hmm.
The entire text of each will be published in the next edition of the Popular Chivalry, and we will do our best to get them up on Facebook as well. What I will read here in court are the changes and not the current law.
Okay.
Great.
Change to Meridian Kingdom Law, Article 3:100, requirement for entering a crowned list. A, acceptance. The crown will choose those entrants they find acceptable after consultation with the Kingdom Seneschal, Kingdom Earl Marshal, and the Kingdom Exchequer. The crown may disqualify a competitor or consort for cause. 1A, these kingdom officers have the right to disqualify a competitor or consort for documented violation or violations of society policy and or kingdom law. 1B, the refusing officer must submit the reason for the disqualification to the crown in writing. 2, a kingdom officer who wishes to participate in crown list as a competitor or consort must have a replacement deputy with all proper warrants and other requirements fully in place prior to submitting a letter of intent. The officer must include this information in the letter of intent. 3, the Crown may waive any of the requirements covered in Article 3, 100C. Any such waiver is considered a royal prerogative and must be announced in an official SCA outlet. The waiver will apply equally to all applicants. 4, it is the Crown's right to post a list of the competitors and consorts if they choose to do so. B, general requirements. 1, all participants must meet the requirements established in corpora. They must also meet any additional requirements set by kingdom law or specified by the Crown prior to the list. 2, each competitor and consort will submit a letter of intent to the Crown, Kingdom Seneschal, Kingdom Exchequer, and Kingdom Earl Marshal on or before the published deadline. The letter of intent must include, at a bare minimum, the following. 2A, a statement that it is in the intent of the competitor and consort to participate. 2B, a statement that each person has read corpora and kingdom law and meets the respective requirements of each. 2C, proof of membership for both the competitor and consort. 2D, a copy of the competitor's authorization card. And 2E, the competitor and the consort must sign the letter. 3, no competitor or consort will have any outstanding financial obligation to the kingdom or the SCA. C, kingdom requirements. 1, each competitor must compete for only one person who has consented to serve as the consort of Meridies. Each consort will have only one champion competing in the list. 2, each competitor and consort must take the traditional sword oath affirming they are able to fulfill the duties of the Crown should they prove victorious. 3, each competitor and consort must have lived within the kingdom, maintained a society membership for the full 12 months preceding Crown list, and provide assurances they will continue to reside within the kingdom for the duration of their reign if they prove victorious. 4, each competitor and consort must be at least 19 years of age on or before the date of Crown list. 5, the consort must attend the list unless the Crown grants special dispensation. 6, competitors must fight using their own equipment unless their equipment is damaged during combat in the list. 7, within 7 days of Crown list, the sovereign heir and consort heir must provide to the Kingdom Seneschal proof that their memberships extend through the end of their reign as sovereign and consort if they have not done so already. Signed, King Buru and Queen Fiona.
Called now into this court, Hunter von Nuremberg.
I thought he wasn't going to be here.
Hunter is not able to join us in the chat today.
Oh, so we're just going to do as we did earlier and announce the award that he'll be receiving, which is an AOA. And we've had reports from several people about his fine service, and we choose to recognize that today.
Know ye one and all that Hunter von Nuremberg has considerably enriched our kingdom through diverse great efforts. We would reward such service with an award of arms, conferring all rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto, done this day by our hand.
I believe next is Mistress Nora again, if she's had time to catch her breath.
Actually, I thought we had an announcement about the order of precedence.
That is what my list says.
What?
It's the order of precedence.
It's the order of precedence.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Who's handling that?
Who's making the announcement?
Or your
Okay.
Majesty's making the announcement?
Why don't you do it? since you have all the hard work and effort put into it.
Yes, Your Majesty. I am very pleased to announce on behalf of the Meridian College of Heralds that as of today, we have a brand new Meridian Order of Precedence online. It can be found at op.meridies.org, and I would very much like to thank Master Lorenzo for his great efforts in making this come online. The Honorable Lady Drusilla for all of her hard work in wrangling data, Mistress Flaunet, Mistress Fiora for their planning, their preparation, enabling this to happen, working with various crowns, heirs to make sure that this could happen, Dansette and her deputy Ian for all their help with planning and preparation, and finally, but importantly, Master Alexander Ravenscroft for his help and his great work and effort he has done in getting the Meridian OP online in the first place.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your team has done a fabulous job despite issues, people being in different states on different time zones, and maybe one person jumping in your way and asking you a bunch of questions and asking for a bunch of last minute things. I don't know who that could be, but you've done a marvelous job, and the new OP is very intuitive. And I encourage everyone to go out and look at it. There's now an easy way to make corrections, which I think is one of the most fabulous things that they've done with the OP. So just check it out. And thank you again for all your hard work.
Called now before this court, Eric Griffin.
I believe he is connected.
Eric, for as long as I have known you, you have been a kind, courteous, and helpful man, not only to the many ranks with which you served entourage, but to just everyone around you. Your gentle nature, your chivalry, and just the great guy that you are an example to everyone in the SCA. It has been my pleasure to be your friend for many years, and it is both Her Majesty and my pleasure at this time to bestow upon you a court baronetcy and name you a baron of our court.
Selfless actions undertaken without thought of personal gain exemplify the traits displayed by our subject Eric Griffin. Thus we, Baru and Fiona, do bestow the rank and privileges of court barony upon him, done this day by our hands.
So, Eric, I've known you for a really long time, and we debated on this award for a little bit because people with fabulous hair generally don't fall into the category of white trash. So I had to be convinced. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm absolutely honored.
All right,
North, it's your turn.
another deep breath. Change to Meridian Kingdom law. Current law, Article 2101, Courts of Inquiry, will now become Article 2102, Courts of Inquiry. A, purpose of the court. 1, the primary purpose of a court of inquiry is to determine if there is sufficient cause to convene a court of chivalry. See Article 2103. 2, any subject of Meridies may seek redress against another subject who they believe has behaved in a manner contrary to the Society's rules for courtly and chivalrous behavior as referenced in the SCA Code of Conduct. 3, under no circumstances will the Court of Inquiry examine matters that belong rightfully in civil or criminal courts of the nation. Only those aspects of the matter that pertain solely to the Society may be examined. 4, the Court of Inquiry does not cover matters pertaining to the SCA Incorporated bullying and harassment policy. 5, a Court of Inquiry is not an official event of the Kingdom. B, composition of the court. 1, the Kingdom Seneschal shall designate a deputy, hereafter referred to as counselor, to convene Court of Inquiry proceedings. 2, should the Kingdom Seneschal have a conflict of interest, a committee of the Kingdom Earl Marshal, the Beacon Principal Herald, and the Kingdom Exchequer shall impanel the Court of Inquiry and appoint the counselor. 3, a committee of 5 residents of Meridies will be impaneled to act as the Court of Inquiry and review the documentation provided by the counselor. 3A, the 5 members must be paid members of the SCA Incorporated. 3B, 4 members of the panel will be chosen from the bestowed peerages and or a territorial baron or baroness. 3C, 1 member will be chosen from the populace at large and shall not be a peer. 3D, the members of the Court of Inquiry cannot serve in the Court of Chivalry should it convene. 4, a recorder will be appointed to make detailed record minutes of the Court of Inquiry's proceedings. 4A, the recorder will have no voice in the Court of Inquiry. 4B, the recorder cannot serve in the Court of Chivalry should it convene. C, conduct of the court. 1, the Kingdom Seneschal shall inform the Crown of a Court of Inquiry request. 2, the counselor shall impanel a Court of Inquiry to investigate the stated allegations. 3, the counselor is responsible for directing the conduct of the Court of Inquiry. It is the purview of the counselor to gather documents and or statements from witnesses to present to the Court of Inquiry. 4, evidence and statements must be limited to information directly bearing on the allegations of the complainant. 5, any investigation must be conducted in accordance with the governing documents of the Society, Kingdom Law, and the Society's Sanctioned Guide. 6, the complainant and the defendant will provide written statements to the counselor 30 days prior to the proceedings. 7, the complainant and the defendant may also provide to the counselor a list of witnesses with contact information. 8, the counselor will notify the complainant and the defendant of the acceptance of the complaint with the time, place, and nature of the Court of Inquiry by registered mail. 9, the counselor will notify witnesses of the time and place of the Court of Inquiry. 10, the Court of Inquiry may be conducted in a private meeting or in a public forum. D, findings of the court. 1, the Court of Inquiry will be polled to determine if there is a majority recommendation. 2, the counselor will compile a summary report from the Court of Inquiry and attach evidential documentation. 3, the Court of Inquiry may recommend a Court of Chivalry. 3A, if a Court of Chivalry is recommended, the Kingdom Seneschal will follow the procedure as outlined in Court of Chivalry, Article 2103. 3B, the Kingdom Seneschal will inform the Crown of the outcome of the Court of Inquiry. 3C, the Kingdom Seneschal shall inform the complainant and defendant of the decision of the Court of Inquiry in writing by registered mail within 5 days of the Court of Inquiry findings. 4, the record of the proceedings, all statements, witness lists, and any other documentation will be held with the confidential records of the Kingdom Seneschal's office for a period of 7 years. Signed, King Baru, Queen Fiona.
Thank you.
Yes.
Called now before their majesties, Gaira Dansdottir, the Kingdom Law Clerk.
Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. So, Gara, we've actually been looking to talk to you about something for a couple of months. Panhandle skirmishes kind of months. And excuse me. I'm allergic to pollen, and there's a lot. Anyway, so we've been looking to do this for a couple months now, and you've evaded us. So when we had to do a law clerk, I was like, ha ha ha, we get to do it now. So, and it's not just us. There's a group of people who think that you should be a member of their order, and we call them the Bow of Meridies.
May it be known that our kingdom is like unto a mighty tree, who depends on the strength of the branches that support us. Thus we do elevate you into the order of the bough by the support of your deeds and works, done this day by our hand.
So I'm sure later there'll be lots of hugging and carrying on, but for now, sadly, this is it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
And once again, deep breath. Change to Meridian Kingdom Law. Current law, Article 2-102, Courts of Chivalry, will now be Article 2-103, Courts of Chivalry. A court of chivalry is convened to hear the findings and evidence concerning the disposition of the subject of a court of inquiry. A court of chivalry must take place during an event published in the Kingdom newsletter. B, under no circumstance will the court of chivalry examine matters that belong rightfully in civil or criminal courts of the nation. Only those aspects of the matter that pertain solely to the society may be examined. C, any investigation must be conducted in accordance with the governing documents of the society, kingdom law, and the society sanctioned guide. D, composition of the court of chivalry. 1, the kingdom seneschal, kingdom earl marshal, or beacon herald, referred to hereafter as chair, organizes and presides over its sessions. 2, the court of chivalry must take place within 30 days of the delivery of the findings of the court of inquiry. 3, notification of the court of chivalry must be sent to the involved parties by certified mail within 5 days. This notification will include 3A, the findings of the court of inquiry, and 3B, the summary of the evidence. 4, the chair of the court of chivalry must consult with all parties and make all reasonable accommodations to set the time and location of the court of chivalry. 5, the beacon herald or an authorized representative will record the proceedings, which is defined as the substance of all testimony presented and the recommendations of the court. 6, the kingdom seneschal will provide a written copy of the kingdom law, marking the pertinent laws on court of chivalry to the defendants, the complainants, the jury, and the members of the court. 7, neither the defendants nor complainants or any individuals appointed by the kingdom seneschal, the kingdom earl marshal, or the crown may be a member of the court. E, representation. 1, the chair will appoint a prosecutor prior to the proposed date for the court to convene. The complainant may act as their own prosecutor or may elect for the chair to appoint representation. If the kingdom is the complainant, the chair will appoint a prosecutor. 2, the defendant may choose to represent themselves or be represented by another member at the court and may not be forced to speak for himself or herself. F, composition of the jury. 1, the chair will appoint a jury of residents of Meridies. 2, the jury must be selected prior to the date of the court of chivalry. 3, the jury is made up of 5 or 7 persons and 2 alternates, chosen by the chair. The defendant may reject 2 members of the jury. 4, once selected and finalized, the jury of 5 or 7 will select a 4th person to speak for the jury and announce its findings. If the defendant is the sovereign or consort, the matter is taken directly to the board, as the board reserves to itself the discipline of members for actions taken while serving as consort or sovereign of a kingdom. See SCA Incorporated Organizational Handbook, Reservations to the Board, Article 4, Section G, 10. G, conduct of the Court of Chivalry. The chair is responsible for directing the conduct of the Court of Chivalry. 2, the court, the prosecutor, and the defense may call witnesses. 3, witnesses by their attendance agree to full participation in the process. 4, evidence and testimony must be limited to information directly bearing on the charges as founded by the Court of Inquiry and as presented by the prosecutor. 5, hearsay is inadmissible. H, findings of the court. 1, the Court of Chivalry jury will determine a verdict. 2, the chair of the Court of Chivalry will deliver the verdict of the jury to the Kingdom Seneschal and the Crown within 10 days of rendering. 3, the Crown has 10 days from receipt of that verdict to determine judgment and justification for that judgment. 4, at the end of 10 days, the Crown must send written notification of their judgment, their justification for the judgment, and the verdict of the jury to the Kingdom Seneschal and both the complainant and defendant via certified mail. 5, the Crown may issue reprimands or sanctions. If the Crown issues a sanction, it must be in accordance with the governing documents of the Society, Kingdom Law, and the Society Sanction Guide. Signed, King Boru and Queen Fiona.
A,
Thank you again.
yes.
Called
And-
now into this court, Jerusha Kilgore.
Oh, there she is. Can you hear us? Jerusha.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I met you several years ago. And then a couple years later, after you became Fiona Barr's apprentice, which is still a questionable act on your end, but seems to be working. And you are a very knowledgeable and talented woman, very sought after for your herbal lore. And even though you've had some situations come up where you have been unable to be in person with us, and you've had to do your SCA long before it become fashionable online, you've still managed to remain vital and still managed to provide information and encouragement to other people. And there was an order that met, excuse me, to discuss that. And they have decided to ask us to induct you into that order. And so today we make you a member of the Order of the Velvet Owl.
Thank
In
you.
ancient times,
Go ahead, Naz.
in ancient times, the owl is the symbol of Athena, goddess of wisdom and the arts, and so represents man's ideal of artistic achievement. Therefore, be it known by all present that Jerusha Kilgore has shown outstanding accomplishments in the arts and has freely imparted that knowledge of those skills to the populace, and is so awarded the Order of the Velvet Owl this day by our hands.
Your Majesty, I will ever strive to be worthy of the trust you have placed in me with this order.
Well, thank you. And I know without doubt that there will never be an issue with my ability to trust you.
It's our great pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Majesty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now I think I'm supposed to leave.
Bye, Jerusha. I don't think we mentioned that the regalia and scrolls for the awards given in this court will be sent to the recipients somehow.
We'll get posted on Facebook who to contact and get your information to.
Right.
right. One final deep breath. Change to Meridian Kingdom law. Article 8-104, patent of arms. The Crown may elevate subjects to the peerage by granting membership in one of the orders, the Order of Chivalry, the Order of the Laurel, the Order of the Pelican, and Order of Defense, conferring a patent of arms, after consultation with the members of the order and in accordance with the laws and traditions of Meridies. The order's companions and the Crown acknowledge their obligation for consultation is complete when all procedures for nomination, discussion, election, and subsequent recommendation have been fulfilled as defined in the order's charters. Consultation does not need to result in a recommendation from the order to their majesties. The Crown cannot interfere with any of the provisions defined by the peerage order's charters unless stated otherwise in the charter. A. By custom and tradition in the Kingdom of Meridies, candidates are elevated to any order patent upon consultation with and recommendation by the order in question. B. By custom and tradition, Meridies does not confer a patent of arms to members of the Order of the Rose. C. By custom and tradition, peers of Meridies may swear or affirm their support of the Crown of Meridies each reign. D. It is the right of the members of the order present to participate in the elevation process. E. Candidates. 1. The populace of Meridies has the right to make a recommendation directly to the Crown for any subject they feel merits induction into any peerage order. 2. Candidates for any order conferring a patent of arms must meet the criteria defined in Flora. F. Each of the peerage orders will create and maintain a charter for its own self-governance and name a secretary to facilitate the business of the order. 1. Each peerage order must have a copy of their charter present to conduct business. 2. The charters will include but are not limited to A. Each charter shall address how to nominate and discuss candidates. 2B. Each charter shall address how to poll candidates. 2C. Each charter shall address what constitutes a favorable recommendation to the Crown. 2D. Each charter shall address how the Secretary communicates agendas, minutes, and other administrative needs of the order. 2E. Each charter shall have a policy to address transgressors of the confidentiality of the order. 2F. Members, in lieu of attendance, may send a proxy to the order's meetings to provide their consultation for candidates for the order. The process for distribution shall be addressed in the charter. 2G. Changes to charters must follow the process as defined in each charter. 2H. Charters must be reviewed every 2 years and approved by the Crown and order. 2I. Each charter shall define the process for assuming emeritus status. 2J. Each charter shall include the process for resignation in accordance with Corpora. 2K. Degradation from peerage. 1. The board reserves the right to degrade a person from the peerage. 2. Each charter shall include a process by which the order can request the degradation of members from patent status. 3. If the order decides to recommend degradation, the Kingdom Seneschal begins the court of inquiry process. G. Each order will meet at least twice in each reign as determined by the Crown and the order. G.A. The Crown or the order may request additional meetings. G.B. Peerage orders are permitted to conduct official business online, providing the process is established in the charter. G.C. After each meeting, the Secretary must submit the written minutes and recommendations to the Crown and order. Signed, King Baru, Queen Fiona.
Thank you once again.
Called now into this court, the Shire of Azaray.
I believe they are attending from their homes.
Thank you. As was mentioned in the scroll for the Order of the Bow, Meridies is a kingdom, is a tree that depends on its many branches. This is not just true for that order, Ezra is one of the many branches that this kingdom depends on. For many years, it has been an example of work and service and cooperation, not only within the group, but many, many times hand in hand with those groups around it in service to the kingdom and to our populace. Your Majesty.
Yes, I was thinking that Ezra has sought out things that they can do to enhance the kingdom and the groups around them. And sometimes I think they've created opportunities to be able to give service back to the kingdom. And you're very much a very dependable group, a go-to group if you need something done quickly. So, Your Majesty, I completely agree with what we're about to do.
At this time, it is our great pleasure to bestow upon the Shire of Ezra the crown's favor.
Usage of collected talents and energies for the common good and glory of the kingdom, and greater wealth to the society, deserves recognition. Let all take notice that we, Baru and Fiona, have thus found Ezra to be worthy of the crown's favor, and may display regalia thusly. Further, we desire their continued good and loyal efforts, done this day by our hand.
Yay. I know they're all nodding at this broadcast going, yes, yes, yay, thank you. So
We've gotten a couple of comments that maybe audio isn't coming through, which is why I went ahead and put it up on the screen just to be sure.
okay, that's fine.
Well,
all right.
Some business from the Ministry of Whimsy.
Yeah, did we get to a schedule so we could distribute? I will work on it. Oh, yay, there it is. So for those of you who missed the announcement, we formed a Ministry of Whimsy, and these lovely folks are helping organize our online offerings through the kingdom. So if you do a class or a bonfire, fireside chat, just contact Baroness Genevieve and the Honorable Lady Jessica of Osprey, and they can get your information put on the schedule so that everybody in the kingdom has the opportunity to stop by, if that's what you want, of course. Thank you. So
we'd like to thank everyone who attended this virtual court. We appreciate you indulging us in seeking to make improvements on how this flows. It feels like it went well, so feel free to let us know that it went well. We don't want to hear anything else. Just let us know.
I agree.
Jessica has done a wonderful job of wrangling this and getting so many people to help with this. And we hope that those of you who can will be joining us later for tonight's virtual feast.
Yes. Did your Highness have anything you wanted to share?
We just wanted to thank everyone for joining us today, and this was a lot of fun. And I think someone might have gotten access to my Facebook account, because while I was here quietly and respectfully watching the court, someone else must have been posting on my behalf. I don't know. We have reports coming in of some whimsy. I'll get on that immediately, Your Majesty.
Okay. Right. And thank you all, Naz, Honora, Kira, Jessica, Genevieve, and Kaylin, for helping us with this today. We obviously could not have in any way managed this on our own. And we very much appreciate you assisting us into reaching out and spending some time with our populace. Thank you.
Harold, if you'd please close our court.
Yes, Your Majesty. This closes the court of Baru and Fiona, sovereign and consort of the Laurel Kingdom of Meridies.
Bye.